Welcome along to the Fox Cricket World Cup preview. Every game live on Fox Cricket, no ad breaks in play. And to talk us through the tournament is a man that won it in 2015. He was the second leading run scorer in 2019. His name is Dave Warner. Bull, great to see you coming in from Hyderabad. How are you going?
Likewise, Howie. I'm good, thanks, mate.
World Cup, what does it mean to you? Such a big tournament, and this one in India, no doubt it'll be the most watched sporting cricket sporting event ever, I would have thought.
Yeah, definitely. And I think the best part about World Cups are live tournament play. And I think us Australians, we really get up even more for these events. You can't just sit back and relax. You got to get into it straight away. And I think when you don't really have too much to think about, you almost play your best cricket, and that's why I think Australia's had such great success during the World Cup.
All right, mate. Take us into this World Cup. You're obviously in South Africa. Then you played the matches versus India, and then you've had some warm up games, the Netherlands and Pakistan, as we were recording this last night. How's the planning? Do you all sit round in a boardroom and it's run by you? But take us into the planning for a tournament of this size at this stage, mate. I'm fascinated.
To be fair, there's none. All the planning and prep's been done pre-tour. We obviously playing in Africa was a big one. It's about getting your bodies and your minds ready, so you know exactly how you're going to play. I think the team's played enough cricket over the last 12 to 18 months together to understand what we have to do. Losing Trav was a big one because Trav was one of the guys that was going to play the way that me and him played against Africa, and to go out and go after it and try and put pressure on the bowlers in the first 10. So that's responsibilities upon me and Big Bice, Mitch Marsh. So that's probably the only thing really that we're looking at. There was a few injury concerns leading into the World Cup as well, and everything seems to be great so far. So everything's settled down. But planning wise, it's more, I think, bowlers will specifics up against different batsmen, and then it's about the fielders putting themselves in the right spots to want that ball. Batting wise, you just bat like it's you. If you see your matchup, you take your matchup on. But we know here in India, you've got to be looking at 350 plus.
You talked about the physical approach. We'll get to batting, and then you mentioned the mental approach. How do you operate in that space? Do you speak to a psychologist? Are you your own man? Are you mentally preparing in a certain way? How do you go about getting your mind ready for what is 9 high-intensity games across various cities, a lot of travel, a lot of time? How do you get in the right mindset, Davey?
Yeah, the right mindset's taking yourself away from the game. I think for me personally, I know a lot of the other guys here, we take our minds away from the game. So, a lot of us like to go play golf. A few people go to the gym, sit by the pool and relax, play PlayStation. A lot of guys play PlayStation. So it's about, you got to compartmentalize. You can't just think about cricket 24/7. You're in a hotel room. If you eat yourself up with cricket, there's probably 2 blokes I don't need to name them, who probably just do that, and they love it. So at every opportunity they're trying to train. But for us who need to get away from the game and relax, that's how we get our mind free and clear. As a team, we get together, have a beer, have a feed, and yeah, we just try and keep a tight unit together. A bit similar to what we did in the 2000 in a World Cup in UAE.
All right, let's run through the Australian lineup per se. So Trav hopefully comes back at some stage the tournament. That's what we're being told. That's your understanding. He's still in a cast at the moment, apparently.
Yeah, that's the plan. I'm not too sure they put a date on it, but it'd be halfway through at least.
So you get to open with Mitch Marsh. What's it like opening with the big man who's just an enormous physical presence at the crease? What's he like to bat with?
Yeah, it's good. I'm happy it's one day cricket, not 2020, because we had that stint together at Delhi, and that boy, he hits the ball hard. But we feed off each other very well. We know each other's game very well. So for us, it's about seizing up the opportunity, making sure that we're we're taking calculator risks, and I think his game's in great touch at the moment as well. So after yesterday's hit, it was a bit tentative. He said just purely based on the wicket. So for us, it was about going out there together and having a nice little gallop together. And he looks nice and strong.
There was a lot of talk before the squad was announced that there wasn't room in a team for a Marnus Labuschagne and a Steve Smith, because there was a theory that they were two very similar type of batsmen. Marnus comes in again as the concussion sub. He does beautifully well. Can you see these two complementing each other in a middle order together?
Yeah, most definitely. You see it at the moment, even last night, they put a nice little partnership together, and they're capable of doing that. I think the only thing that you have in the back of your mind is making sure that we all still play the same way that we want to do. They're two busy guys against spin, very good players of spin. So, they're definitely going to be our anchors if we lose early wickets. And then towards the back end, they just control the tempo very well. So, if they could do that well for us in the middle, and we do our job at the top, we're going to be posting some good totals.
Glenn Maxwell is obviously so important in the team. We'll get to his bowling, but I had a look, Davey, in World Cups, I think he strikes at 160, and the second best in the history of the tournament might be Dre Russ with 135. So it's an enormous difference. How is Glenn? Obviously, he had some issues coming back from the broken leg. How is he physically, and how important is he at throwing his fielding too, I guess?
Yeah, he's a big player for us. He has the ability to strike at 160 through getting a good stable base, and that's what you try and do. You try and set your platform for those big hitters, so he can come in and they're fearing the fact that if you got a good total on the board, he's still got 6 overs to face or something. So it's always handy to have him there to do that. But his bowling is exactly what we need over here. To have a world class bat and someone who can take the game away from the opposition, who's better than a part-time off-spin bowler. He's great. Adds another string to our bow. And he's a handy person to throw the ball to. And then you look at the fielding aspect as well. Our ring looks so complete now that we've got 4 genuine hunters in the ring. We always talk about hunting the ones, creating opportunities and run-outs. Probably not more on my arm these days, but with those guys in the hot positions, it's going to be great. It's almost looking back at the great Australian side when you had Roy Simons at cover, then you had Pup at point. You just looked like the opposition couldn't get the ball through the infield. So, hit him into our team is gold, absolutely gold.
Cam Green, as we're talking, was fantastic last night against Pakistan. Saw him playing for Mumbai, and just the love and respect that franchise had for such a young man, such a young Australian, it blew me away. How's the big boy tracking?
Yeah, look, he's going well. He's probably got a few things with his batting that he's sync with his swing and everything, getting used to the slowness of the wickets again, and that's when you have to adapt into these conditions. You come from South Africa in nice, beautiful wickets to the sort of slower, lower wickets. So just the tempo of his swing, and you saw towards the back innings yesterday that he was getting that, which was great. And on the backside of that, to have his bowling as well is incredible. So, the good thing about Greeny is he's still learning, and it's great. And it's going to be scary when he's the ultimate package.
You mentioned the spinners. Obviously, our frontliners, we've got Adam Zampa, who's taken the most wickets for Australia in one-day cricket since the last World Cup, and then Maxi comes in there. What type of spinners do you feel, after all your experience in India, cause trouble to batsmen?
The ones that cause trouble are the ones that keep hitting the stumps. So, if you have to take a risk off the stumps, you're in play as a bowler. So for me as a batsman, the calculator risks for me are generally through cover, over cover, and then, lay back and hit over mid wicket. So, you're trying to get them off their length. So, whether it's trying to reverse sweep, go back, try and tuck them around the corner. It's hard to do that when they're consistently hitting the stumps. You can't sweep. You can lap if you want. It's risky. So when they're targeting the stumps, they're dangerous, most dangerous.
Starkey's obviously a massive key with the white ball. You'll face him, obviously, throughout the tournament in the nets. What's difficult about Mitchell Starc, or do you avoid him? Do you avoid him, Dave?
I don't face any bowlers in the nets.
Right. Well, from what you've
I've
seen
had
there,
my time.
right? Why is he? What different challenges does he bring to the batsman in India as opposed to the quicker bouncier decks of Australia?
Well, the one thing you know is it's going to be pitched up there and he's going to allow the ball to swing. Hardest thing at 150 Ks is the sharpness that actually swings back. So I don't think people understand when you see it on TV and someone gets, their poles ripped out of the ground. It's not because they didn't see the ball. It's because they're in the position to actually hit the ball at the angle it is at when it's delivered. And then if it comes back late, which generally it does with a new ball, you just can't do anything about it. So that's the X factor that he brings. And the other side of it is that his control as well. He's got that test match line of length that he can bowl, he can hold as well. So, he's got the capability of doing that as well. And then his death bowling is just outrageous. Like when he's on, he's on. He's always come back from an injury, but he had a good gallop and his speeds are back up there. He looks, fit and lean as usual. So yeah, hopefully he has a great tournament for us.
The good news is you can see every single match live on Fox Cricket. No ad breaks in play. Beautiful high-def pictures, and you get to see the likes of Starc and Warner in action. Righto, India first game. Before we get into a few specifics, you've just come off 3 matches against them. Tell me about the atmosphere playing against India in India, Dave.
Electrifying. It is crazy. We know we're not going to have any support. Cricket will have support and India will have support. That's a given. But I think playing India and Chennai first game, I know when I look back at 2015 first game, we're quite nervous. So, you're in your home ground, you're expected to win and win the tournament. That's just what happens when you play, home ground advantage. So, I don't envy them. I know exactly how they feel and will be feeling. But it's a great game to start because it's a momentum builder. You beat India on home soil in India. That momentum shift for us would be huge. So, for us, we're lucky enough that we've got, 15 players here. They had probably 45 to choose from into 11. So
yeah.
that's one tick for us. We didn't have to worry about that. But yeah, look, playing them beforehand was good, just to get some rhythm against their bowler. We've faced their bowlers a lot, so there's no different. We don't know. There's not going to have to expect anything different. It's just about playing tournament style play come this weekend.
You look at their top 6. I was watching it the other day, and you're like, yeah, like you get Sharma and then KL Rahul's there, and then you got Kohli in the middle, and then you've got Sky with the 3. Like, they are an incredible top 6. If I could say to you, Dave, you get one of those top 6 for 0 in game 1, who's the wicket for you?
Oh, you got to start with Shubman Gill.
Oh,
he's on fire at the moment. Like, he's just playing with absolute freedom. He's young. I remember when I look back at the start of my career, you got no fear. You come out and just back yourself. So they're the most dangerous. You know what you're going to get from Kohli. Experience. He's going to bat time. That's how he plays. But Shubman Gill, guys that can take it away from you in the first 10 overs, it's very hard to claw back if they get off to, 80, 90 in the first 10. So, yeah, he's probably the key wicket.
Tell me about his cover drive on the rise. Like, do you sit there as he strokes it and just go, oh my, that is a shot and a half?
I don't think people understand how hard that shot is. You have to have everything in sync, including hitting the ball late but on the up. Like, it's an incredible shot. I know our great Ricky Ponting did it a lot, but like the way that he hits the ball and the way that it comes off the bat is incredible. And I'm glad I'm not footing it cover.
Why has Jadeja got such a good record against Australia in all formats of the game, Davey?
I think just his skill execution. Generally, when he comes on the bowl, it's generally I'm probably out. 2 right-handers are in. His control is incredible. He's fielding off his own bowling, doesn't let you get off strike easily. And then you go give him a bat as well, and he goes out there and can take it away from you. Like, you're probably chasing 90 off 50, and he's still there at the back end. Like, he's got a knack of doing that against us. Some players match up very well against certain teams. and unfortunately, he matched up well against us, and we're well aware of that. So, for us, it's about trying to work out a plan of how to, subdue him a little bit. I think we were able to do that in Rajkot a little bit. I know they were chasing a bigger total, but we bowled exceptionally well to him, and his timing looked like it was out, but we've got to do that this weekend.
Now, 4th of November versus England, the world champs. Why are they the world champs, Davey, at this stage in white ball cricket? What do they do that everyone else doesn't quite manage?
It's hard to sort of put my finger on that. They just seem to get themselves out of jail all the time. And yet again, another team, home team, won the last World Cup, had to win because, you got to win in home. So it's going to be interesting to see how they play. Ben Stokes coming out of retirement, add another string to their bow, whether or not he's bowling or not. But they bat deep. They've got experience on their side. But yet again, it's an even playing field when you come to India. I think most teams like us, New Zealand, South Africa and England, we all use our bouncers a lot when you're bowlers. So it's not an easy thing to do here. You can't really get the ball up often. It's generally probably with the new ball only. So, you're going to have to change the way that you play. No Joff Arach is a big one for them as well. And then, but Reece Topley as well. He's another guy that's actually a good guy that's come onto the scene for them. He's going to be quite dangerous. Left arm spin bowler. So they've got great depth, and led by Josh. So he's got a great cricketing brain. And the other one, you got Rudy there as well, who anchors the ship. So you got a great lineup, and that's what I think makes them stand out. That doesn't matter what facet of the game or what area of the game it is, they've just got things covered always.
And your own form and situation, Dave. Holy moly, I've read some articles in the last 6 months about what Dave Warner's doing, whether he's going to get picked for the Ashes, and then when you're retiring or if you're retiring. How have you dealt with this constant noise around your career, mate?
I just can't wait to finish. Then they have to find someone else's name to use clickbait. It's incredible. It's actually, to be honest, if I'm being brutally honest, it's actually been sickening. And that's why I always put it back to the team. It's about the team. It's not about me and what I'm doing. For me, it's about going out there and trying to put my best foot forward and play the best to my ability and put the team in a good position. And that's why I gave an end date, because that's when I'm ending. It's when I intend to end. It's when I intend to go home and spend some time with the family and just live life and join you guys. And I can't wait. So it's going to be exciting.
Just before I let you go, and this will be a tough one for you because you've had no pre-warning on this. Can you give me a couple of players not playing with Australia that you look forward to watching in the World Cup? Maybe a couple of batsmen and a couple of bowlers that you'll be in the hotel thinking, right, I'm not going anywhere. I want to watch these guys in action.
Shubman Gill is definitely one.
Yep.
Henrik Klassen from South Africa in the middle. He played an exceptional knock against us. Very good player of spin. And hopefully does it to a couple of teams as well.
That innings he played against you guys was mind-blowing.
He's just got great hands. It's like Maxi, him and Josh. Like, they've got like hockey hands. So like their hands come through so fast and can hit the ball anywhere they want. And on spin wickets, he's incredible. Bowling, I say bowling wise, I think Rashid Khan's going to be one to look out for. I know it's 10 overs, and when you got 10 overs, it's a long time, so you don't really have to try and go after him. Where in 20 over cricket you do, and you'll try and score with him. But I'll be interested to see how he goes. I'll be keeping a keen eye on him. And from a bowling perspective, who's out there that I'm looking forward to? I think I'm gonna say Mark Wood, just purely based on the fact because of his speed. I know what he's done here in the IPL. He's the type of guy that can get wickets at any stage of the game, bowling 150 rockets, and he puts 100% effort in all the time. And I think he's probably going to be the key to the English team. Whether he plays every game is another one, because generally they like to give him a couple of games off in between. But yeah, it's going to be a good watch.